we go. I think. I don't know. I always lose track. Are we on? I think we're on. What's up? How do? So.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's January the 2nd. Playing some D&D, some Odyssey the Dragonlords. Super fun campaign. Today's actually our first cold ass day in like a month and a half, so I don't like it. Like, I wish I had fuzzy socks, because I would be wearing fuzzy socks right now. Alright, so there's something I want to bring up to Twitchland before we actually start. So last week, this is me speaking as Chad, this Twitch streamer, not DM or anything like that. Last week we had some stuff come up with a player. Something happened to a player; they got restrained. Two viewers in Twitch were essentially bringing up rape culture, and when someone called them out about it, they kind of went to town on them a little bit. I am not okay with that whatsoever. I was not paying attention to the chat until it was brought up to me a couple hours after our game ended. If I see that, you are gone. I don't care if you're watching for one day or for the last 5 years. I will ban you from here right quick and in a hurry. That shit is not cool. Yeah, that's kind of all I really have to say about that. Yeah. That's really all I got to say about it. It's just not cool. You guys need to get along, and we do not condone that shit here. I am a crazy SOB, and I do a lot of crazy crap, but that's not cool. So, don't do it. Yeah, it's unless anyone has anything else to input on that, I think we can actually get this game going. What's up, Schmo? Alright, so we're going to do some introductions right quick, and then we will do a game recap, and then we will get started. So, Nico, tell us a little bit about Nicodemus.
Nico is a dwarf with a red beard of like medium length. It's not very long, but it's not too short. It's only about maybe, I don't know, 6-7 inches long. He does keep beads in it and such, but he don't have a real full long beard like a normal hill dwarf would. He wears scale mail made of like a petrified wood that has dark purple hue to it. He carries a wooden shield with a squid on it, painted on it like a kraken, and carries a side. He is a level 1 cleric and just leveled into a level 2 druid. So now he's going to go full druid and see where that takes him. That's Nicodemus.
Nice. Corbinosity.
Corbinosity is a 3.5 foot tall fighter barbarian who's one of the ancient Dragonlords reincarnated in the body of a gnome who was shipwrecked off the island. The Oracle is his lover and sent him back in Thylia's greatest time of need. Corbin passes himself off as a disciple of the ancient Corbin, except for those closest to him, who he has let know that he is actually the ancient Dragonlord Corbin. He has a little bit of rage issues, and he likes to rip his foes apart with his bare hands.
So kind of like small man syndrome, yes?
But he's not real happy about being a gnome.
Almost as if the Oracle played a cruel, cruel trick on you. Amitrius. Yes, he is very precise.
Amitrius is a centaur paladin, the Oath of Conquest, who has a history as a gladiator. After he won his freedom in the arena, he spent his days roaming and getting very drunk. And since then, he has discovered faith in what the centaur believe is their ancient progenitor, the Great Stallion. And now he wants to avenge his tribe and slay the villain that burned his people.
Yeah. Arcadia.
Arcadia is a
Come on, get this lid off there.
ranger rogue, also a barbarian, which is not a class in, well, it is a class in this, but she's actually a barbarian from the island of Themis. She's 18 or 19 years old. I'm looking at the chat. FSSH Schmo would appreciate the exact height measurement. She is 5'10", 145 pounds. She likes to shoot a crossbow. We found out a couple of sessions ago that she is the bastard daughter of Pythor, the god of battle. She doesn't seem very happy about it. And
wonder why.
From her background, she prefers to battle from a distance and also keep the same distance from others. Although, you might have noticed, she did show a tiny bit of compassion to Billy the Possum.
That she did. Shmo, you wearing your wife beater today. And last but not least, Kamos. Kamos.
Find that mute button.
Kamos.
So Kamos is a highborn human wizard with gloomy attire, a fair skin that's now sunburned now that he's been outside for too long. And yeah, that's it.
A little pissy, I'm assuming.
Yes. Pithy and pissy.
There you go. Alright, so for this game, who's going to do our recap?
Oh,
We all stepped back except for...
Yeah, it's when everybody stands in a line and everybody steps back, leaving the one person left standing in front. Uh-huh. So the last we saw our heroes, they had just left the Temple of the Oracle, walking towards Estoria, where they were going to meet Pythor, the god of battle, who is also the king of Estoria. On their way, they saw the path to the necropolis, which they decided they were not strong enough to go to yet. But then they wandered down the path a little further and ran into a couple of griffins attacking. Well, they were eating a horse. There was a headless man in a red and white suit and a young woman in distress. So we saved her. We found out that the guy in the red and white coat had a little name tag that said S. Klaus, whose first name was Chris. It was Engorgio's way of giving us Christmas presents. And the young woman's name was Casey. She was quite flirtatious.
Just a little bit.
And the evening, we moved on a little bit into the evening, and things happened. And then we moved on to Estoria. We're at the gate. The guards were seemed to be very concerned about Amitrius. They kept on mentioning, what is a centaur doing here? We got in to see Pythor. Turns out he was a horrifyingly disgusting drunkard who told them that they needed to help him. Well, actually, they needed to save his youngest daughter, Honora. Here's the big reveal. You find out that the young woman who was flirtatious with the party and might have had dalliances with 2/3 of them was actually Honora. But of course, Daddy does not know anything about this and thinks of her as his perfect princess. But basically, she's going to be sacrificed at the full moon, which is in 11 days, by the men of Sidon. They're going to sacrifice her to basilisks. So Pythor has an oath of peace with Sidon, so he cannot directly intervene. So he is counting on the party to save his daughter for him. Also, we ran into some villagers who were saying that the countryside, they're stripping it of all the animals because basically Pythor is trying to appease Sidon and is sacrificing many animals. There was an earthquake a couple of months ago that Sidon had created in order to warn Pythor. I think he's threatening to destroy the city. Nicodemus, who was a cleric of Pythor, and also Corbin, who is an old friend of Pythor, are both extremely distressed to see the god in this state. And let's see. Oh, I forgot. Yes, we're talking about there was Lutheria. When we were on the road to Estoria, gave everybody a terrible nightmare. And so she is intervening with us. And I'm thinking that's about as... Well, you find that Arcadia knows a lot about basilisks. And then at the last, this wizard called Fargrim Snuffbottom shows up. And we're going to try to get him to help us by making some potions to protect us from the basilisk. And the session, we are mid-afternoon on day 6 of our adventures.
That's a pretty good summary. So Pythor is a very big drunkard and nasty and wanted cheesy potatoes.
Giorgio, can you quickly tell me the name of the daughter of the Pythor, the true name of Casey?
Anora, Anora. His little Anora. Where the frack?
And did Pythor request that we stay in the palace or in the town until this evening?
So he let you guys free. He just insisted that you were here for the feast tonight, and that you guys are more than welcome to stay in the palace because, in his words, no daughter of mine is staying in an inn. So yeah, you guys are free to roam around if you want. He just insists that you're back for the feast.
First thing I'd like to do is see if there's anybody in the in his palace that could help me get cleaned up.
Okay.
There, yeah.
Yeah. So, once you guys are kind of like heading back out, because I'm assuming you guys are leaving, you see like a younger man who's dressed very finely, and he comes up to you, and he calls himself. He introduces himself as Stenosaur, and he is the king's advisor. And he, so if you're looking for some place to clean up, there are bathhouses throughout the city, or if you wish to be shown into your private chambers, that there is a bath there that you could use as well.
Oh, Stenosaur, if you could please show me to my private chambers, I'd appreciate that. I'm not going to be walking through town looking like this, covered in blood and mud.
Yeah, Corbin will join you in that too.
Yeah,
he kind of got griffined.
So Stenosaur will look at Ametris and kind of bow his head a little bit, and will apologize that they don't have big enough baths for centaurs, but you could use the stables. And he's not saying it like to be mean, like he's just that's just how it is here.
I'll ask him if there is a bathhouse in the city that might be big enough then.
There may be, yes, there is. Just be forewarned that not everyone sees kindly to your kind as others do.
I'm used to that.
Demetrius, I did see a fountain you could jump in. If they won't take you there, perhaps you could just jump inside the fountain right in the middle of the street.
He looks at Nicodemus and he says, "I have some pride, dwarf. I'm not going to dance around in a fountain."
Big enough for you.
Demetrius, I have no idea what it's like to be a centaur in this town. Are you safe on your own?
Well, if anyone gives me trouble, that's on them.
Well, I'm sure you can handle trouble that comes your way, but if we're traveling in a group, you're much less likely to get trouble and get kicked out of town, which is more.
You're free to come with me to the bathhouse.
Maybe we should all go to the bathhouse if.
I'll come.
If Demetrius can't join us, maybe we can join him.
Yeah, that's kind of like my feeling in the matter. It's like, oh, screw it. I'm looking at the nice private bath that I could all by myself.
Besides, Corbin also has trouble finding a big enough bath.
Oh, sure, yes.
What's
All right.
in the sink?
Nicodemus. And I believe afterwards you wanted to go to Vulcan's Hall.
I do.
Seamus?
Yes.
Well, we can go there together as well.
Excellent. So I guess that's what we're doing. We're looking for a public bathhouse.
Okay.
They should have those, right?
Yes, there's two in here. One is a public one is a private one if you have the coin. The public one is 10 silver, and the private one is 1 gold.
Corbin will pay for the private one.
Yeah, Demetrius will as well. Go to the private one.
Okay. Go ahead.
Is it just 1 gold for the party or 1 gold each?
1 gold each.
Okay.
And that would be... Yeah, we'll put that up here.
Nico would go pay 1 gold too.
Okay. How about Arcadia?
She doesn't care about how she looks. In fact, she doesn't mind having blood on her.
Demetrius will say, "Woman, you stink. Join us in the bath."
That would be a random monster at 2,500.
And she looks at you and says, "No, thank you."
Corbin will say, ignore the pony. He is too brash, but please join us. I will pay.
She says, "I'm just going to stand out here and make sure nothing happens."
Listen, if you don't want to join us in the bath, at least go to a private bath. I don't want to travel with someone that's constantly dirty.
What, do you have a thing against dirt and blood?
Yes, it stinks.
Well, then don't stand next to me.
And Demetrius throws up his hands and he mutters something about woman.
I think at this point, Steve Oceus would point out something about the poop bag since he's not here.
Oh no, Steve Oceus, he would actually he'd pay the gold to get a bath, and as he gets into the bath, you see Billy also in there, and he scrubs Billy.
Does Billy like being bathed?
He does. So Demetrius, when you go in there, the people the establishment, their eyes kind of get wide as they kind of rush, and the owner comes out and says, "Dear Centaur, we do have a bath set up just for you back here in the back. It's large enough just for you."
I follow them to the back to look at that bath.
Oh, thank you for that
Is
follow.
it the same quality?
Nala Gray. It is. It's just a little bit larger. It's like most of these private baths are for like 1 or 2 people each. This one is set up for about 10 people.
I will ask them to bring over the washing boy, and I will jump into the bath.
Okay, and that washing boy will come and will give you the scrubs. They'll ask you what kind of, if you want to, like special shampoo, like to like smell very nice and fine, or do you want the shampoo to smell like musky and manly.
I give them a strange look, and you see that he looks around to see if his party can hear him. And since he's now away from them, he lowers his voice and he's like, "Give me the manly shampoo."
Okay.
And clearly not wanting the party to hear that he cares about that sort of thing.
So once you get done, they scrub you down. You smell like the woods, like a man's man, you know. And they'll sit there. They'll brush your hair out, and they'll ask you if you wish your mane to be braided.
Does this smell like old spices?
A little bit, yes. Like pine tree and man.
Yeah, he doesn't have a mane, but he does have a tail that they can braid. Half a tail left, at least.
They will happily braid the last half of your tail.
Yeah, they can do that.
All right. And same with Nico, Corbin, and Kamos. They also will, as I'm assuming you guys are probably all near each other, ask you also about the shampoo, what you would like. The fruity stuff or the manly stuff?
Corbin would like something that smells of lavender. It's what the Oracle would like.
Okay. Oh, God,
Nico would like something that smells like pine trees.
Very good.
And I don't want them little pine tree things that you hang in your carriage.
Yes, Lord Dwarf.
And Steve just said that he wants the fruity one.
Okay. So yes,
Do you have
Steve.
patchouli?
Yes, we do actually. Give me 1 second. They'll run back and come back with it.
All right, there you go.
What about Billy, Steve?
Demetrius would ask them to shave his torso like the gladiators do in Spartacus. And his armpits and stuff.
Oh, your torso. Okay, I was thinking. Wait a second. Okay.
Yeah.
Like so, the
Gladiators
top,
are totally hairless.
the top half.
Yeah, the top half, of course.
Okay, not the horse.
No, not the whole thing.
Naked horse.
That's what I was thinking for a second. I was like, oh God, a naked horse.
A giant naked mole rat.
Oh no. Are you gonna get oiled as well?
Of course.
Okay.
Top half only, of course.
Of course. Of course. So, they oil you, they bathe you, they brush you guys out. You know, if you want your hair braided a certain way, Corbin, if you want your mustache styled a certain way, they'll take care of you. Whatever you want.
Excellent. Little wax on the tips.
Yes. And Arcadia, are you standing outside of the bathhouse, or are you standing like inside of it?
I'm standing outside, keeping a keen eye on people walking past.
All right, give me a perception check in the tower. What the fuck? I got like a pimple on my knee. That's weird. Super weird. Okay, so this is, you know, it's middle afternoon now. There's people's buzzing about. You're kind of like not on the outskirts of the town, but kind of on the outskirts of town. So the crowd here is a little bit thinner. Most of these people are going over to the tavern. But as they're bathing, it takes, I'd say, about an hour, maybe 2 hours that they're in there bathing. You keep seeing, like, kind of out of the corner of your eye, like, two people or two figures in like black cloaks that like face features and everything are covered, and then when you go to like maybe turn around and like turn to look at them, you don't see them there. And this happens a couple of times.
And I don't recognize, there's no identifying features on them that I would recognize.
Correct. It's all just straight black cloaks. Facial features are covered up. You can't see anything that they're wearing, like underneath the cloaks.
Any heights that would look familiar to me?
One is roughly 6'2", 6'3", and the other one is like a slimmer. Like the 6'2", 6'3" is like more muscular, and then the other one is like roughly 5'6", 5'7", and slim and thin.
Okay, are these familiar heights to me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
But they don't try to interact with you or anything. You just keep seeing them out of your corner of the eye every once in a while.
Okay.
Alright, so we get our bathings done. Everyone smells nice and fresh and either fruity or manly. And then there's Arcadia, who does not. She's still covered in blood and guts.
Oh.
Wash your knees, man. That's right. So now, what do you guys wish to get up to?
Like to go to Vulcan's Hall?
Vulcan's Hall, alright.
Is that where the drinking thing is?
Oh no. Is it? I thought this was,
No, that's where the God of the Forge.
Yeah, God of the Forge.
Is it a,
my map. Shit.
is it a forge in there? Or is it just a place for the prey?
Give me 1 second. I gotta actually find this.
Yeah, I really don't know.
I'd like
what the hell am I looking
Nico
for?
would
God, this thing
definitely
pisses me
like
off. There
to
we
go
go.
there too.
Estoria. That's the one I needed.
I'll follow Kamos to the Vulcan's Hall.
Bum. All right. There we go. Now I got my thingy. All right. So once you guys are all heading over there, you do pass by the Dragon's Tooth, which is a bar, and it is getting loud and ruckusy in there. And then you're coming over towards Vulcan's Hall. So near the center of this town is a large building with fortified stone walls and a shingle roof. A sign hangs from the building's heavy bronze banded doors. It reads simply Vulcan's Hall. Going in, you are greeted by the warm glow of embers and blasts of hot air. The room is decorated with a variety of bronze armors, weapons, and farming tools. A weathered-looking dwarf works at an anvil near the blistering forge at the back of the hall. He wipes the sweat from his brow and greets you warmly. And this is what he looks like.
Do they sell weapons here?
Weapons? Of course we have weapons.
Corbin will tell him that he would like to acquire some more of these pointy sticks for throwing at foes that are too cowardly to approach him.
The pointy sticks, you want to go to the Agora. Here, I make the good weapons.
Yes,
sorry, you go.
I'm here to pay my respects. I think Artemis is as well. Demetrius, sorry.
Pay your respects to me. Ha! Welcome. Thank you.
I will walk over to him and I will slam my fist to my chest. I will say, "It is fine to meet you, dwarf. I have an important question for you if you are willing to answer."
Of course, little centaur. What can I do for you?
The great oracle has spoken words of prophecy. She said that we must shape the silver fires of the lost forge in order to craft the tools that we need. What know you of this forge?
Well, the forge is in the Mithril Mines. It is where all the great weapons and artifacts there were forged in ages past before she cursed the place. I will happily join you there if you can rekindle those fires.
Are you willing to tell us who cursed these mithril mines?
Lutheria, of course. She's a jealous woman, that.
Weapons. Crafted there. Area first the place. The oracle says that it is our destiny to go there and rekindle those fires. So, we will join you there in the future.
Yes, you are the oracle's chosen. I know this. Tell me, have you met with my son yet?
Who is your son, my friend?
And he will kind of let like a great laugh. Why, Pythor, of course.
I am only a centaur. The intricacies between the human gods are not all that familiar to me. I know but their names and not much else. But yes, we have met him.
Yes, we did meet with Pythor.
Sad what he has come to, isn't it?
Nico shakes his head and looks down. Very sad. Very disappointing.
Corbin will ask when that started and what might have led to it.
Oh, I would say, and he kind of scratches his head. Maybe 18, 19 moons ago or suns ago. I don't remember. Something like that. He lost another one of his, and he will do like air quotes, another one of his great loves. And from there, he's let himself go.
You mean, Enora?
No, this one came after. This one was before Agora. This was one of his other wives. His great love.
I'm sorry, I missed it. Who is that?
What is her name? Actually, it escapes me. Give me a second. It's essentially is saying one of his wives, like his wife's. Shit. Give me a second.
If it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a name. I just can't remember. Ophia. Her name is Ophia.
And she was sacrificed, or died of more natural causes?
Nah, she was taken by Hexia, the dragon, of course. And ever since then, he's just been... you see what happened, what became of him.
I spit on the ground and say, fucking dragons.
I will drink to that one, Centaur.
Aye.
Corbin will look uncomfortable and say, dragons were not all bad. The Dragonlords protected this land even before the Five Gods.
I'll say, the Dragonlords may have, but they're beasts. Bah, they are greedy and evil.
Agreed. And he will slam his hand onto this forge.
Corbin will get a little angry and say, that is untrue. The Dragonlord's dragons sacrificed themselves for this land. All of them died. So the
Then why are you here, gnome?
I am a disciple of Corbin the Great, the ancient Dragonlord. I've learned his lore, as you know. And I'll give Amitrius a little wink, because he knows I actually am Corbin. I will not stand for their name to be disparaged.
Tell me, gnome, do you know all dragons personally?
I know the Dragonlord's dragons. I don't know other dragons.
Then how do you know that all dragons are noble or good?
I'm sure they're not. Just like not all centaurs are.
Indeed. Just like centaurs humans, dragons may be evil as well. And I tell you from experience, many of them are.
How many dragons have you met, my friend?
More than I'd like.
You might notice that Arcadia is taking a keen interest in this conversation.
Well, what can I do for you? Unless you want to reminisce some more, but...
Do you also make armor here? I know my friend Steve is looking for some new armor, and so am I at some point, but
if
probably not today.
If you have the gold and the time, I can make you the best of armor.
Today we have neither, but I will keep you in mind.
I hope so.
It will be a great honor to wear a set of armor made by you, but it is beyond what I can afford.
Bah!
Well, I came here to pay respects, but it's out of character. I'm looking for some advice. We don't actually worship at its feet or anything.
You kind of sound kind of far away.
Yeah, always me with the microphone. Yes, start over again. Is to say that I'm looking for some out of character advice. Do people worship at his feet? Bring tribute? If you consider him your patron.
You don't need to do that. Like, you can a bow or maybe kind of take a knee, but you don't have to get down and grovel at his feet.
After I've done that, I'm kind of I'm done here. So I guess we've met all of our goals that we wanted to at this meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, Corbin will say, "Bah, let's go to a store where I can buy some pointy sticks."
I will wait for Corbin to leave, and I will look at the dwarf and grin, and I will say, "Let us slay a dragon together one day." And then I slam my fist into my chest again.
What? Can you repeat that? What did you say?
Let us slay a dragon together one day.
Oh, slay. Okay, yes. We shall slay one together one day.
And
Very important difference.
I will depart the store.
He's an old man. Come on. His hearing isn't what they used to be. Alright, so you guys had... where are we at? We're going...
Or baby Ilrun.
So you want to eaten by Pythor?
That's what he said.
Oh, that's what Pythor said.
But I mean, Pythor is you see what happened to him.
Yeah.
So you go to the Agora. The Agora is where all the shopping goes. Here's their well-trodden streets converge here at a bustling central Agora. A motley assortment of stalls litters the area, from canopies of fine silk to stacks of ratted wooden crates. Merchants at the stalls eagerly vie for your attention with a wide variety of quality wares, all of which seem very reasonably priced. So you see, they have weapons. There's a guy walk around. He has a couple of animals on a stick. And he's saying, "Cat's meat, hot wine. Cat's meat, hot wine." And there's some wine vendors, and you kind of see in the center of the town, kind of sitting by a fountain, you see a very starved-looking man also, and he has what looks like an emerald necklace.
You see Amitrius almost foaming at the mouth and getting a little sweaty, and he mutters to himself, "One doesn't mind it. One isn't bad." And he walks over to the wine stall. He orders himself a nice jug of wine.
Okay, that will be for you 1 gold.
1 gold for wine! And he nearly tosses the stall over, but manages to contain himself at the last moment. And he will slowly regain his temper, and he'll say, "Offer me a fair price, vendor. I'm not paying a gold for wine."
For this whole jug of wine for you, 1 gold.
Do you know who I am, friend?
I know what you are, friend.
And Amitrius will grit his teeth, and he will lean over.
Look. All right, Schmo.
On the stall, and he will lean over to the vendor, and he will say in a growling voice, "We are the chosen of the oracles, and we are guests of Pythor, the king. You'll give me a fair price, like you would any human. And he tries to intimidate this vendor.
And he will. Are you wearing like armor or anything around your chest?
Yes.
All right, so he'll grab your armor and like will pull you in and he'll say, "I know what you are, friend, not who you are. You will pay 1 gold for this wine, or you will have nothing."
Then I will have none of your wine. I will spit on the ground and I will try to push him off me.
Okay.
I will mutter a curse in Sylvan.
That started out fun.
Corbin will look for a stall that's selling pointy sticks.
You do.
Do they look of high quality pointy sticks?
They look like basic pointy sticks.
Same as the ones I already have.
Yes.
I will go ahead and buy 5 of those.
All right.
How much are they?
I guess I should not put in pointy sticks. Those, yeah, they're spears or javelins.
Javelins.
I seriously started typing in pointy stick. Jesus.
It's canon now.
Yeah, they are now pointy sticks. So you wanted 5 of them, right?
Yep.
All right. Did you get that?
No. Oh, now I did.
All right. The shops. So you just go ahead and take them over and buy them. Demetrius, you do see that one man, he has what he said was cat's meat in one hand, and he has a jug of wine in the other.
That guy that was giving him a shit?
No, this is a different guy. This guy is kind of like walking around.
He will try to buy some from him.
Like you ever been to a football game where the guy's walking around like, oh, I got beer. Yeah, kind of like that.
He will go and buy some of the wine.
All right, he will. 1 glass will be 5 silver.
And Michel will say, "Is everything in this city so expensive?"
And he kind of whispers to you, like he'll kind of like wave you down to get to him so he can whisper to you in his ear.
Lean over.
He says, "My lord, I know who you are, but your kind of has a bad reputation here, especially as of late. So we have been ordered to upcharge everything for you. I sincerely apologize."
What about my dwarven friend here? How much for him?
Your dwarf, he will be 1 silver for everyone else.
I will give Nicodemus a silver coin. I will ask Nicodemus to buy me...
Nico will turn it down.
Corbin will wander over and just buy drinks for everybody.
I was just gonna do that, but
You can buy the next round, dwarf.
very well. Should might as well buy a keg.
Maybe we can go to that dragon's tooth.
I will tell this man, tell your master that you brought this problem with the centaur upon yourself for exactly this kind of behavior. But I will take the meat and drink it.
All right.
Arcadia doesn't touch her drink.
Okay.
I will offer to drink Arcadia's if she doesn't want it.
She just leaves it on the table.
So while you guys are kind of up here, you see this guy. He looks very, how do I describe him? Like very thin and gaunt, and he's kind of like giving himself scratches, like, and kind of has like little sores on his arms and stuff. And he comes up and he says, My lords, my friends, my friends, may I interest you with a necklace, an emerald necklace here that I have found at the necropolis. 1 gold for you.
Amicius will narrow his eyes. And he'll say, you found this at the necropolis?
Yes. 1 gold.
Can I do an insight check to see if I believe him?
Sure.
Would Steve just
tower
grab
or
the
open?
necklace and throw him? Would Steve just grab the necklace and throw the money at him?
Steve is watching and he says, "What? Yes."
Yes, I feel like Steve would buy that thing.
All right. So while Steve is yes, I'll buy it. You see a merchant. He comes up, and he say, "Now, don't you guys buy this? He stole it from one of the tombs and is now cursed by the gods."
Ooh, not good.
Does my insight roll make me believe that?
Oh yeah, he's no. Well, so he you're trying to incite whether he said he got it from the tomb, right, or from the necropolis. Yeah, he's truthful that he got it from the necropolis.
Arcadia goes over quickly to Steve and puts her hand on his arm and tells him this is not a good idea.
Yeah, Corbin as well will say, anything from the heroes' graves, it has to belong to you to take it.
Now, someone roll a religion check.
It's not Corbin's strength if anybody else is better at it.
Neither is mine.
I'll roll it because I'm from these lands.
But I think it's common knowledge, though, about
it is
stealing from a
common
grave.
knowledge.
Well, this is all right. So, Kamos, we're good. So, Kamos, you know about the curse of the grave robber. This curse is visited upon someone who takes any magical item from the grave of a hero blessed by the gods. Those afflicted by this curse cannot eat, and everything they try to eat, they just throw it back up. It is impossible for that person to get rid of the item that they stole, even by returning it to the correct grave. It will always return to their possession at midnight. The only way to get it is if someone buys it off of them, and they have to be truthful about it.
Wait, don't buy that. He's been afflicted by a curse, and I didn't write down half of that, what you just said. But anyway, so... Oh, man. Don't buy it off of him. If you do, the curse transfers to you.
I will say, your curse is your own to bear, but now you will die. And walk away from this vendor.
But, my lords, my friends, help me.
You should have never done it in the first place. Shame on you.
He cries. I just want some food.
Then work for your coin, thief.
Well, you can't eat even if you had the coin, though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but he stole in the first place, right?
Yep. All right. So any more kind of shopping or anything you want to do here? This Klaus guy is
there a library or scholar place around?
A quick question before we do that. Before we leave this guy and go where Corbin wants. If Steve buys this item, would he take on the curse?
Since Steve knows about it now, yes.
Oh, okay. Because Steve said that he would want to return it to end the curse.
Yeah, if someone buys a necklace knowing about this curse, then they will become afflicted by the...
What if Steve offers to take it for free to return it?
So the next day, it will end up back in Klaus's possession.
Oh,
If you look If you look, it will always return them to their possession at midnight, even if they return it.
Yeah. There's no helping him, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very well.
So that kind of shows you guys how serious these guys are about stealing shit.
Yeah. Now you can go, Corbin. Sorry for interrupting
We
you.
go to
that's
the
fine.
necropolis.
Corbin's
Don't
glad he didn't
steal.
play a rogue this campaign.
Yeah, if you go to the necropolis, don't steal.
It's alright, it's my stuff, I can take it. I was wondering if there was a library or scholar place I can go.
Well, let's see here.
And Arcadia is looking for something for against poisons.
And petrification.
Alright, so there's no library here, which is weird.
No scholars or wise men.
Other than, well, you wouldn't really know, because, yes, it's been 500 years,
Yeah.
and Estoria actually was not even around then. So
Bunch
yeah,
of
there's
goat herders.
yeah, scruffy nerf herders.
Yeah.
Scholarly people, there might be some down in like the living quarters area. Other than the most, what looked like scholarly person you saw was Farkram, which is kind of funny.
Alright.
Speaking of him.
In that case, I'll just wander over to talk to Nicodemus about what we might be able to do to help out poor Pythor.
I have some ideas, but I could cast a spell on his drink.
I will say,
Perhaps.
I would not meddle with the gods if I were you. Clearly, he's chosen this kind of life for himself.
So it could be detrimental to me.
Besides, you'd be treating the symptom, not the underlying cause.
We spoke to Vulcan, right? And Vulcan said that a dragon took his love. So maybe you can offer to retrieve his love from the dragon?
Arcadia interrupts and said that is my quest. That is what the Oracle told me I must do.
Oh, then I will say, well, I guess it's all our quest now.
Agreed.
Since, we are all together.
Is this dragon known to you as well, Demetrius? You mentioned that you had a dislike of dragons.
Indeed, but I do not know any dragon personally. I've only suffered at the hands of one whose name I do not know yet.
So it might be the same dragon.
Maybe.
There aren't very many dragons in the land, I don't think, anymore.
I will recognize the dragon if I see him.
What
How will
color
you
was
recognize
it?
him?
And Giorgio, what color was the dragon? I would know that. I
It's your
guess red.
dragon.
Red. A nice flame
Come
dragon.
on. Come on.
It was a great red beast.
Hey, Ralph.
The one I am after is green.
I see. Perhaps not the same dragon then.
Or maybe it's a Christmas dragon. It's both red and green.
Jesus.
That would explain a lot.
Yes, Ralphie.
Arcadia's looking. She'd be familiar with the Agora. Is there a place to purchase some antidote to poison?
So really quick, which Mario are you playing?
Which what?
Mario is being played.
Somebody.
Someone you're with is playing Mario.
Mario was my alarm for my medicine.
Oh, sorry.
It's appropriate. It's a mushroom.
Yeah, this is true. To someplace to buy antidotes for poison. Yes, there would be one at the Agora.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Kind of like in the seedier part, if you will.
That's fine. Arcadia looks seedy.
Yes, she does. Okay. Are you all going or just Arcadia?
Did she tell us where she was going?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm gonna go. Basilisks are poisonous, and I need to see if I can find something for the poison.
Hell yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
All right, so Arcadia kind of leads you around down these steps, and you go up as you're walking by, like down here. You see kind of like a sign that says apothecary on it.
Okay.
And,
I walked in.
all right, so walking in, you see a roughly 5'7", 5'8" woman, long red hair. Doesn't look like she should really work in this kind of place, but she's dressed very nice and really fancy. And she looks at you guys and smiles and asks, "What can she do for you?"
And Arcadia says, "I would like to purchase antidote for poison."
Oh,
Corbin
of
will
course.
pipe up and say, and anything for petrification as well, if you have such a thing.
If you have the coin, we can, of course, do that. Let me look. I'll be right back. Poison.
Arcadia, how is it that you know so much about these creatures?
We raised them as hounds on Themis.
And you see Amitrius raise his eyebrows and blink his eyes and say, "You raised the basilisks?
Yes, we use them as hounds.
By the gods, that is impressive.
Oh, antidote. Antidote.
Perhaps if we find some of this basilisk has a young, we can take some and you can raise that one."
I don't know if I'd have the time. It would be tempting, but they need a lot of attention for obvious reasons.
How many of your people are turned into statues on a yearly basis?
I would say between about around 5, if we're not lucky. But we are trained to be very careful.
Yes, the more I learn about your people, the more concerned I am about the Oracle's words.
Oh, what she said to you?
Indeed, about your people.
I personally don't know what she's talking about.
Oh, I think she said it whilst you were there. It was about...
No, I know what she said, but Arcadia doesn't know what wrong needs to be righted. She's not aware of it.
I will say about having to get your people on our side.
Yes, I don't know about that either.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
that would be difficult.
yes, I can imagine so if they raise basilisks as hounds.
Corbin will chuckle a little and say, "How hard could it be? Women love Corbin."
Arcadia looks at him and narrows her eyes. Just says,
He'll flex a little bit
well,
forward.
like, you might see her slightly grin and stifle it. That kind of like rolling eyes, kind of like, I think she, against her own will, might be slightly getting used to you. But she says, I suppose changing the minds of 3,000 people is no harder than killing a green dragon.
Yes, indeed.
So
I will have you help.
this lady comes back out, and she's carrying 4 vials, and she says, "This here will help save against poison. Unfortunately, we don't have anything against petrification."
Wait, do I get a special gift because I just saw Ralph on the screen? Where are the Gorgio points?
I needed to make a thing to redeem Ralph just to see him.
How much are the vials? Are those antitoxins or?
Yeah, they're antitoxin. They are 50 gold each. And that
Okay,
is
Arcadia.
that is not a markup.
Yes, Arcadia can only afford to buy one, but she will do so.
I will also buy one.
Alright,
Corbin will grudgingly buy one as well.
Alright, so we'll do this. Oh, well, damn it. Dan.
Are you sending us something, or?
I was going to, so
So I was going to do
Arcadia
the same thing.
and
I'll buy the
Corbin.
fourth.
So we're only allowed one in there at a time, or it crashes, right?
Yes.
Oh, so who's in there right now?
I was,
Corbin.
but I'm out now.
Okay, so I'll go in there and buy it then.
All right.
Should I just? Okay, I'll go in first. Hold on.
I do not know what you mean by going in.
He's
You'll-
giving you
there's
the
a
shop.
store.
You'll see here in a
So
second.
So I bought one, and then I'm out.
Alright.
It's nice because it puts it right into your inventory.
Nice.
Alright, so you should be able to see that now. There's the antitoxin, there's like a little arrow that says add to cart on the left hand side. Yep. And then just hit the buy button. At the
Steve
bottom
would
left
ask-
hand side.
I don't see a buy button. That's silly. I see an empty cart button.
It's after you fill your cart, so use the arrow to move it over to your
I-
purchase screen.
And then the bottom left hand side it says total price 50 gold, then buy.
Oh, got it. Yeah, thank you.
Steve would
And
like
I'm out.
Steve would like to ask the lady behind the desk if she would buy any parts of the basilisk.
Of course, my husband Darius would love part of him. Whatever you can get back.
Would it
Alright.
possibly offset the cost of these potions if we bring them back?
I would give you a fair price for the basilisk parts.
What are basilisk parts going for these days?
Oh, if you could find the right people to buy them, they could go for a good price. But it's a niche market, you know?
They were really popular in my day.
Ralph, what are you doing?
I guess you would tell
Don't
Steve
move at me.
specific parts that she would be interested in buying.
Yeah, she would be interested in the eyes, the tongue, and like some of its spines. Don't move at me.
Okay.
I will put that in the notes.
And she will, she'll put her hand out and say, "My name is Kit. What is yours?"
Corbin, named after Corbin the Great Dragonlord.
Ah, yes, I have heard of him. A great and mighty warrior.
My name is Chamos. I'm sorry, I didn't catch it. What's your name?
Kit, with the K.
Got it.
I am Demetrius.
Nice to meet you.
And Steve would say, do you have any jars for preserving things in?
What size?
Basilisk size.
Just to put some organs from body parts in and such.
Oh, we have some. Of course, I have to charge you, though. I can't give those out for free.
I am also looking for a toad sweet, the feather of a raven, a fresh grave dirt, cum, lavender, mushrooms, candles, earwax of a troll, a spicing sick, and honey. How much of that do you have? Steve says.
What's a toad sweet?
Celia, I have no
sweat.
idea, but Steve probably knows. Oh,
Actually,
sweat.
Toad sweat.
Oh, toad sweat.
A toad sweat. Don't have that. I'm sorry. Raven's feather. Yeah, I mean, I could charge you for one, but all I would do is just go outside and pick one up.
Okay, so I guess he can do that himself.
Uh-huh.
Do you have fresh dirt?
No. There's lots of things that I will do, but anything with graves, even, just no.
And you see that Ambitious is just shaking his head at Steve's strange request.
What was else?
Scum, lavender, mushrooms, candles, earwax of a troll, and honey, and spices. As I posted in Discord.
Yeah, I know. Scum, what you need to elaborate a little bit on scum. Like scum and villainy, what do you say is scum?
I guess the nasty kind that I don't know, man. This is Steve's post.
You could have gotten it from Pythor's shirt.
Elaborate yourself. A pond scum, apparently.
Hey, I did ask Steve to elaborate. He never did. Pond scum. No, we don't really collect that stuff here. Lavender, you could get from the Agora. We don't. This is kind of like an apothecary, if you will. Earwax from a troll. No, those are kind of. They don't really come into the Heartlands. You need to go farther out into the wilderness. Spicing stick and honey also will probably be with the lavender.
And the mushrooms?
The mushrooms, yes. How much do you want?
A bag full.
Elaborate. Wait.
I want 10 magic mushrooms.
10 magic. Oh. And she will say, and she'll add it up. Let me go look, and she'll go back into the bag. You want a half ounce?
And then Matthias will say, Steve, why are you always buying such strange items?
He's a
Steve will
witch.
say, they are important for my rituals.
Yes, I need them. So she'll come back out. She'll say, I have about 1 ounce worth of mushrooms, and that would probably be about carry over the 1, carry over the 2. For you, 45 gold.
He will buy them.
Okay. God. Let me find Steve really quick. 45 gold. Fucking Steve, I swear. Mushrooms. Okay. 1 ounce of magic. Alright, so she gives him 1 ounce of magic mushrooms. And now he is encumbered.
I guess, did he also get some of the jars for preserving body parts?
Oh yeah, jars is here.
And I will put them in the bag of holding.
Flesh jar, I guess. No, there's stuff in it. Just regular jar.
Forgot, where's the store at again?
It's on the side panel, but I just add things and share it with you. So.
Oh. Are there shops?
Oh, you said you put in the bag of holdings. So this inventory jar. Bam. Oops. Son of a bitch. Where's the flesh jar? Fucking Steve.
Yeah.
Alright, they are in the party sheet.
posture. Nice.
Anything else I can do for you?
No. He would go to the Agora and quickly buy the other ingredients.
Okay.
We'll pay what is needed.
All right.
Corbin will say, "Are we going to go try to do the drink, the dreaming quest?"
I think
Sure.
that's a good idea.
Yes.
Right. So
Was
right
that the
quick.
dragon shrine?
Yeah. Right. Quick. So as you guys go back into the Agora, there's two people dressed up as jesters, and they are walking around with like flyers, and say, "The wine festival is coming to the amphitheater soon. Please join. Please come and check us out." And they walk around with little flyers, handing them out, and say, "To celebrate our coming to town at the Dragon's Tooth, drinks are buy two, get one free."
Does that include centaurs too?
Of course, centaurs, satyrs, Medusae, anyone's welcome.
You that? Demetrius?
Maybe we should check it out on the way. How much
Typical
time?
for a human to put centaurs together with these cursed fiends.
Just glad somebody as ugly as Nicodemus can get a reasonable drink.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Thank you. I know I'm not the prettiest dwarf.
Wow.
Anyway, did we also want to go to the dragon shrine?
Yeah, that was
Yes,
one of the things we
talked
wanted to
about
do.
that. I think we should.
How much
do
time
that before-
do we have before the party?
Roughly 2 hours. Yeah.
It's not a lot of
Arcadia
time.
would like to go to the dragon's shrine right now.
Yeah,
Great.
let's go there.
Perfect time to drop acid and then wait for it to kick in.
Steve probably would do that too. He'd probably eat half that bag of mushrooms.
Here we go.
Yeah, I guess we'll resist the temptation to go to the Dragon's Tooth then.
All right. You do have to pass right by there too. Demetrius, I need a con save from you.
I just had a drink, remember?
You had a little drink.
Yeah, not big enough.
You're an alcoholic.
Big body mass. Even though you're medium size.
Oh, ow.
Ow.
Thanks.
So Demetrius, as the whole party is walking past this dragon's tooth, the smell and the allure of people in there drinking and having fun is just too much for you to handle.
I'll say, hold on, I just need to quickly go in here and fetch something for on the road. I will rush off towards the Dragon's Tooth to make use of the buy one get one free.
Corbin will go with him.
Nico is sneak in too with Corbin.
Steve would go into. So,
Crap, we're all going in.
Sorry, guys.
so stepping through this door, you see that the busy street outside the tavern barely hinted at the sheer number of people crammed inside. Locals and travelers from all across Stylia crowd around the bar, an assortment of wooden tables sharing the latest gossip. And you see there are several dwarves in here, sitting all around a table. They look like they're having a good old time.
Yeah, I will walk over towards the nearest maid and I will retrieve my keg and I will say how much to fill this thing.
For a full pony keg, let's see, buy two, get one free. You want to buy 2 kegs?
I will ask you to fill my keg. I'll, use the buy one get one free. So I will pay half a keg. Get a full keg.
Well, it's 2 kegs. It's buy 2 get 1 free.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll buy 2 kegs.
Okay. She says, to fill yours, we must have a corkage fee. If you are okay with that, so you understand.
I will just buy 2 kegs from you. Then.
Oh, okay. That would be 30 gold.
30 gold for a keg.
That's a lot of wine.
That's a lot of alcohol in there.
I'll just buy 2 mugs then, large mugs.
Large mugs, okay. So 3, and here you go, 5 silver.
I will pay the 5 silver.
All right. So while you guys are, who else is anyone else up there with him as he's buying stuff?
Yeah, Corbin's there, and he'll buy a drink for himself as well.
All right. So you kind of hear whispering, a couple people whispering at the bar that there's been a band of warriors that went to the necropolis last month, and they haven't been heard from since. And because everyone knows that place is forbidden, so they're probably dead.
Corbin will go over to somebody whispering about that and ask about the details of these brave warriors.
Well, some of the warriors, they went to help one of their friends out because he had apparently decided he wanted to go and get some free things, and then they haven't it's been quite a while. They just haven't been heard from, and I fear the worst. They all had families,
Yeah, they should have known. I thought everybody knew not to rob the graves of the old heroes.
I know times are hard, but you just don't do that. That's not right.
If only they had a great hero like Corbin, the great Dragonlord, with them.
Corbin the Great. I don't remember that name, but yes, I will take your word for it.
Yes, I am a disciple of his. I am also a mighty warrior.
They will look you up and down and humor you. And okay.
And Amitrius will nudge Nicodemus and point at the group of dwarves.
I see. Do they look like they're, like minors, or...
They do.
Oh.
They're old enough to drink.
Well, of course they're probably old enough to drink.
Right?
They come out with mugs in their hands when they're born.
And a beard.
And a beard. Yeah, the babies are born with beards.
Yeah, even some of the women too.
Yes. Can never tell if they're men or women.
Yes, but the women don't grow mustaches. That's how you can tell the difference.
Aye, and they have big tits.
The bigger the better.
Ah, Demetrius, you and your utter madness.
So
and Nico will buy the table around.
okay. So as the server takes them their round, she turns around and points at you, and one of the older looking ones, just long white beard, almost touching the ground, rushes up and gives you a big hug and says, "Nicodemus the Great."
Hey, how did you know it was me?
Oh, we know you are. When the oracle says that there's a great dwarf as one of the chosen, of course we miners, we dwarves will celebrate you.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad to hear it. And enjoy your drinks.
Please.
I hope.
May I beg of you for assistance?
Certainly.
So, we are all here part of a clan that was forced to flee the Mithril Mine centuries ago. Some of us, myself included, are old enough to remember when that happened, when Estoria cursed us. When Estoria cursed the mines. We cannot go in there because it's too dangerous for we dwarves. But if it were to be cleared out, we would happily pay you if you were to bring back some skulls of our kin, so that we may bury them with honors.
It so happens that we may have a quest that takes us there. And I'd be very happy to do exactly what you requested.
Thank you. We will happily pay 10 gold for each skull returned.
And I will add that to the note for you, Nicodemus.
Thank you.
Did they say where the mine is?
You guys would, well, at least,
We would know.
yeah.
I think Vulcan would have probably. I'm sure we would have known. I think it's common knowledge almost. Correct?
Right, correct.
Okay.
And, Arcadia... No, I'm sorry, not Arcadia. Kamos. You would hear a couple of higher-born, like, noble, like, looking people speaking about how terrible a king Pythor is, and that Honor would make a much better ruler than he would.
How far away when I overhear this? Is like right next to them, or?
As you're kind of like just walking past.
All right, I turn and say, Honora seems like a nice person, but what chops does she have for leadership? I just jump into the conversation, as if I was already there or belong. Should I make some kind of social check?
Yes, because they're going to kind of stare at you.
Let's see, what do I got here?
Oh,
Nothing in performance, but that looks like the best I got. Forgot to roll it in the tower.
Yeah, so they'll kind of clam up and then look at you as, because you're dressed a lot like they are, and he'll say, she has been around, and we love Pythor and for what he has done, but if you have not met him, and he hasn't done anything for us lately, and wishes to appease Sidon, which is not okay with us. And as much of as young as she is, we think it is time for change in leadership.
Understood. Thank you for sharing. I will be going to the palace this evening. Is there anything else any advice you could share?
Don't anger him. He might look like a bumbling fool, but remember, he is still a god.
Corbin will barge in and say, yes, you should remember that. I can't believe you would speak against Pythor. He is a great king. He will find his way, trust me.
And they will, once you pop in, they will clam up.
So I will look at them and say, rightly so.
Thank you for your time, good sirs. Sorry for barging in.
It is okay, Lord.
Arcadia is looking very impatient and wants to go.
Boy, do I hear that.
Corbin's looking around to see if there's any entertainment.
Amitrius is done drinking, so he begins walking out.
All
And
right,
you might have noticed that she left her drink again.
Oh,
She
then
left her drink
Amitrius would
again.
have taken that one as well. He's just cleaning up after Arcadia.
Give me another con save. As you've been, you're starting to feel a little good. Oh yeah, you're starting to feel it. And you do see more flyers about the feast, the wine festival that is coming to the amphitheater in a few days. They are going. There's going to be some plays and, of course, wine.
And you see that if one of those fire belchers gets close to Amitrius, he takes his long distance from it. He goes out of his way to avoid them.
To avoid what? Sorry.
The fire belchers or the jugglers.
Okay.
Corbin will be going around to various tables, and I'll buy like a gold's worth of drink from people and tell them the tales of Corbin and how mighty he is.
And I will yell, "Come on! We're going!"
When Corbin does push-ups, he pushes Thalia down.
Give me a performance.
Performance?
Yes. They will nod and laugh at that.
Corbin was very pleased.
Like not in a bad way, like in a good way. They laugh like it's a joke, but they agree with you.
All right, then I will happily follow the horse out since he's beckoning to me to leave. I'm like, make up your mind, Demetrius. First you will go in, then you go out.
Just getting a quick drink. Why are you always talking about your glories, trying to convince everyone about how great you are? Does not come across well, my friend.
Just making sure everyone remembers the great Corbin.
It is time for you to make a new path. Your new deeds will be remembered. You are the slayer of the great boar, remember?
Yeah, a mere trivial in my achievements, but
Perhaps
I guess you have to start somewhere.
In time, you will become known again. And I guess we're heading to the Dragon Shrine.
Okay. Where can I find this? Somewhere in here. Alright, so we will make our way to the shrine. Bam. Alright, so we make our way to the shrine, and that is a good place to take a break. So let's come back at a quarter after. I don't know about you, but I gotta pee. Alright, we can do that, and we will do this. Alright, so stream, we'll be back here in about 10 minutes, because I gotta pee, so go away if you have to, but please come back and watch as we finish our last half of the session. We'll start some music, and then we will get this going. I need to find a button. There we go. That button.
Well, at least we got another quest out of going to the tavern.
Rolled his portent dice, and that I don't know if he would have mage armor on him all the time.
He has mage armor. I don't know if he did. Let me look at his dice. I might have re-rolled those. 10 and a 5. No, because it still hasn't been on the next day yet, so we're still... He still has his... He has one left.
Oh, that's right. It is the same day.
Hi. Alright. We are back. Rolls. Alright, so the party was fixing to make their way up to the dragon shrine. When you got to here, you see 7 people in robes, and they're wearing a symbol. It looks like this on their robes, and they have a cow that is tied up to an altar in that square, and it looks like they are preparing to sacrifice it by setting it on fire with torches.
Is that the symbol of Sidon?
It is.
Whoa.
I will say to Nicodemus, seems this is more Sidon city than your gods.
It's like they are brazenly doing a sacrifice in the middle of the city to Sidon.
And that would not be normal, right?
With a sitting god in this city,
Nope.
Probably not.
No, and Nicodemus is taken aback. He's just astounded.
Corbin will stride forward and slap the fire out of their hand before they can sacrifice the cow.
Oh shit.
They'll look at you and look you up and down. You dare to interfere with our sacrifice to Lord Sidon.
The Lord Sidon may have his sacrifice, but not in the middle of Pythor's city.
Pythor City. It's his city for now. You will not deny us our sacrifice.
I will deny you if I will fight any of you in single combat to prove it.
You'll fight all of us if you insist on this.
And you'll have to deal with all of us.
A dwarf, a gnome, a horse, and a possum, and then a woman.
I'm not a woman.
And I'm not a possum.
And I will say thank you for including me, but this is Pythor's business, isn't it? He's not my god. I suppose I will help you, but you will owe me one. I say to Corbin and Nicodemus.
Very well, Pony. I would prefer to fight them one-on-one, but they appear to be too cowardly to do that. And I'll say that very loudly.
You know not who you deal with, obviously. Roll me an intimidation check, Corbin. So, once he says all that, what do you do?
I stand my ground, keeping him from birding the cow. And I maintain that they need to do it somewhere else, or they can fight me one-on-one or as a group.
So the leader will kind of look at all of you and look at the crowd that's starting to come around, and he'll ask you what your name is.
I am Corbin, named after Corbin of old, the Dragonlord.
And this is your group?
We are all together. It is not my group.
And
We are the Oracle's chosen.
And who are your friends?
There is Demetrius,
You're right,
the mighty centaur, Nicodemus, the mighty dwarf, Arcadia is the Amazon, Kamos, the mysterious, and Steve, the odd.
And Steve will hold up. And this is Billy. Billy will hiss.
Yes.
Excellent.
And
that is Billy. He is the most dangerous of all of us.
And
Boom.
And the leader will look, and they'll look at each other, and our Lord will not be denied his sacrifice. Perhaps you will.
Once again.
Oh, hang on. Perhaps we will meet again, and they will take the cow begrudgingly and lead it away.
Demetrius will spit on the ground and say, I'm kind of disappointed. I was getting excited.
Corbin will look under the horse and say, I can see that.
And Demetrius will roll his eyes.
Yeah, when you roll a pretty good intimidation check there, guard relief.
How did I roll?
18.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. Corbin will chuckle and say, Pythor thanks you for respecting this city.
And then they go away.
Corbin looks a little disappointed that he didn't get to fight somebody.
Oh.
Yet.
Keyword. Alright. So you travel up these well-worn steps, and eventually you get up to this shrine that sits at the end of a quiet street that runs into the wall of the gorge. It's a large stone building with a copper dome. The pediment above the door bears a marble engraving of the legendary dragon Balmitria. That's going to be Balmitria. Inside the building, there's a strong smell of incense. You can hear the muttering of prayers as the priests of the shrine carry out their daily rituals.
Is this a Dragonlord dragon or a different dragon?
I think it's a Dragonlord dragon. Let me look. Can't recall the top of my head. There's some damn dragons everywhere. Bam. No. Bam. No. No. Bloody hell. No. Oh no, it is a different dragon actually. Which you would have heard of this dragon.
As a good dragon or a bad one?
A good one.
Okay.
You would know. To see if you can remember your memory. Give me a history.
Mm-hmm. Poor memory, Corbin.
Alright, so you would know that the only thing you would remember is that Balmitria was a silver dragon, and last time she was seen was in a battle against Estoria and Sidon.
I like this dragon. I will pay my respects.
Right.
Arcadia looks at Corbin and says, "Tell me about this dragon." She doesn't look too excited about dragons.
This was not one of the dragons of my people. This was not a Dragonlord dragon, but she did help in the battle against Sidon and Lutheria. That was the last that she was seen of.
No, she nods at you.
I'll say, what dragon don't you like? And enter the temple. That's possible.
That's what it kind of looks like.
Pretty badass.
Yeah. Nice.
I must say, Demetrius, I have not actually met any dragons I didn't like, as you have. But I have heard tales that there are some not very well trained dragons out there. Not very friendly.
Arcadia whips her head around and says, "There are evil dragons out there."
Must have happened after my time.
And she said yes.
I'm still getting used to this newfangled place with all these gadgets and technology. Baths. We never had baths. What is that?
No one makes me bleed my own blood. So, as you all stepped in, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So as you guys walk in, you see a bunch of priests. They're doing their thing, and then you see an elven-like creature comes up, and he looks like this, and he'll introduce himself and say, "Welcome, welcome, heroes of the Oracle. My name is Aesop, and I've heard of your prophecy, but I have bad news."
News.
Bad
is it?
news?
Does news come in any other form these days?
I see that.
We know that you are here to drink from the horn, but it has been stolen. Thieves broke into the shrine 2 nights ago and escaped with it.
Blasphemy. How could you let someone get away with such a thing?
Oh, we are but merely priests. We have no combat skills.
Clearly.
Where are they now? Do you know?
We do not, but if you wish to have a look around, you are more than welcome to.
Arcadia asked, where was it kept?
The reliquary back here.
I'd like to do an insight check to see if he's telling us everything he knows.
Okay. You do believe he is telling the truth, telling everything he knows.
Gonna want to do an
use ear covers.
Oh shit!
Okay, I want to investigate the reliquary.
All right. So coming into the reliquary, it's a small stone chapel with 3 alcoves protected by glass. The glass of the central one has been shattered, and you see dark purple stains are splattered all over the floor surrounding it. And Kamos, as you're looking, you see very many small hoof prints among the stains. And you would know, since you have traveled with Demetrius at least for a while, these stains are spilled wine.
Right.
So these hoof prints, are they Demetrius size or are they like satyr
No,
size?
he said small.
They are small hoof prints.
Tiny centaurs.
They are making wine.
Satyrs,
Yeah,
maybe.
just
Ah,
no. Their
Yes.
endless wine has been stolen.
I doubt a centaur would be subtle enough to steal something like this. They are
does it
pretty noisy and big.
look like a two-legged creature by the foot, the footprints, the way they're spaced?
It does.
So,
They
Miss
didn't
Corbin,
walk-
you're right.
Stealing Billy
Centaurs.
Goats. Billy Goats.
They didn't walk single file to hide their numbers.
Yes.
These sand people.
Centaurs
No.
have done that though. I've heard they ride each other occasionally.
Jesus.
Regularly.
Oh,
Demetrius
Jesus.
does not respond.
2-legged Billy Goats. Left side legs or right side legs? Yes.
Corbin scratches his head. It's like, satyrs, they like wine, and there's a wine festival in town. I wonder if it's related.
A wine festival. We should check it out as soon as possible.
Yes. I've heard about that.
Is there
And-
any other areas to investigate? Like, I mean, they broke in somewhere. Did they have to come in through the front door, or was there? How did they, get in? Is basically the next question.
Yes, they would have had to come through the front door because this thing is built into like the side of a mountain. You do see some of these hoof prints and stains kind of leading, now that you know what to look for, kind of like leading outside of the shrine itself.
Let us find the satyrs and put a beat on them.
Well, we need somebody who can follow tracks.
Yeah, who can track?
So Arcadia goes out and she knows it's 2 days old, but she's going to see if she can see anything.
All right. So you guys get, I would say, to probably down to about here before the trail kind of, before it's like obviously not a trail anymore. So give me a survival check. Oh, let's see. Yeah, whoever wants to. Oh, Corbin, actually. So Arcadia, you get to a boot here, and you're like, oh, the tracks lead this way. But Corbin, or the tracks lead north, or to the east. But Corbin, you notice that they actually lead down south.
I'll point that out and say, look, it's a false trail. They really went this way.
And they lead all the way down here.
Wow.
And then down here. And then all the way outside of the city. Like, I don't know if you want to pursue it much, but the tracks lead all the way outside.
Left the entire city. Where did they go?
Well, if the
Look,
longer we wait,
practice.
the more those tracks are gonna fade.
Yes, let us follow them. This is more important than Pythor's feast.
Okay.
Is it close to the feast time?
Yes, it's about an hour before it's feast because it's starting to, like, the sun is starting to set a little bit.
Corbin would tell a guard at the gate before we left then to get word to Pythor that we are investigating the theft of the horn, but we shall return to his feast before the night is over.
Guard says,
I'll pay him a gold.
he kind of like grabs his neck a little bit and kind of scratches it. It's like, and then another guard says, "We'll make the rookie do it."
Oh, got it. Like, I was wondering if he was like, mentally challenged.
Yeah.
No, I don't think
Is he a window licker?
I don't think he wants to deliver bad news to Pythor.
Yes,
Do it.
just challenged with mortality.
Yeah. All right. So you head outside the gates. Now we go to this map. So you get about here. Now we get a little bit farther. Yeah, so you get it right about here. And it is nighttime now. As you've traveled a little bit. Give me another survival check.
It has been a few hours, but I have sobered up a little.
Yes.
I will strike a torch, and because I don't have blind sight.
All right. So Corbin, you're at this crossroads, and you're like, "Ooh, this trail goes over here." But Arcadia, with your keen eyes, you notice that the trail continues south.
I tell
you
the
were right
others.
this time. These people are tricky.
So should we continue? You're probably not going to make the feast, but I think it's more important.
I think the feast will go on late into the night, but we must get the horn.
I will look to Arcadia and I said, "I bet you are happy to miss it."
And she looks at you and gives kind of a slight smile and nods. And then she says, "See, you guys got all dressed up for nothing. I'm ready for battle."
Oh yeah, they're all smelling all fancy and stuff.
Yeah.
Corbin's like, those griffins better stay away from me this time.
And I'll say, "This is how I dress for battle."
All right, so you're still traveling through the night. You just see people, they're heading up into Estoria, and they're kind of looking at you guys oddly that you're traveling at nights, but they're not going to say nothing because you're a big group. So now you get back up to the path down to the necropolis. I need another survival check. So Corbin, you lose all sight of the tracks. Like to you, they just stopped and disappeared, almost as if like magic. But Arcadia, you notice they continue towards the east.
The east, away from the necropolis?
Yes.
Oof. That's a bullet we just dodged, so okay.
Another
continue
false
going.
trail.
Corbin looks a little disappointed, but he can't see anything.
Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I was doing a quick...
You were doing a quick show off, is what you
Yeah,
No,
pretty
I
much.
was setting a fast... What do they call those? Hot buttons or whatever? Those things.
Hotkeys. Or macro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot pockets.
All right, so now you're continuously traveling, and now it's starting to get like the sun is starting to come up a little bit. This is how long you've been traveling.
It's taken a long time.
So you get up to here. this is the path that goes up to the Oracle's temple. I need another survival. Oh. So, Corbin, again, you see what looks like tracks that lead back the way you came. But Arcadia's like, no, you fool, those are our tracks.
Corbin's getting a little tired. Been walking all night. It's Demetrius's tracks. It's confusing me.
Yeah. So, here, now you guys have been traveling. It's been about 20 hours, I would say. Do you want to continue pushing on, or do you want to try and take a rest?
I guess we should rest.
Do we know where the tracks lead from here?
Yes, they continue. They actually start leading south.
Oh gosh. Okay. I think we should
Didn't
rest.
realize
though.
it was going to be such an adventure.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's find us place to rest up. Don't want to be exhausted.
All right. Yeah. So you know that. Yeah, you have definitely missed the feast. So.
If we've been following these tracks, have they taken a rest since we started following them?
They're 2 days old though, so.
What's up?
Well, they're
What's
2
up,
days
Snow?
old, but we traveled for basically a whole day, the equivalent of a whole day.
Equivalent of a whole
That's-
night.
Equivalent of a whole night. Okay.
We could be gaining on them.
Correct.
I mean, I think we.
He might be. Who knows? Because they're at least 2 days old. You travel for about 12 hours, so they might have rested, but we don't know.
Okay.
And Kamos, if you want to re-roll your portent,
Very important.
it's very important. Alright, I need to pull something up, actually.
Yay.
Those are good ones.
Oh yeah.
Where's my thing? There we go. Oh, excuse me. I need to pull something up that I didn't see. I always try to prepare for things you've done or that you're gonna do, but I always don't prepare everything. Naturally, exactly.
I was feeling for you when I saw this this decision. I'm like, uh-oh. No
So-
cheesy potatoes.
Oh yeah. No cheesy potatoes. Oh, the cheesy potatoes.
Potatoes.
Oh, the cheesy potatoes. Alright, so you continue traveling down. I'd say about here.
By the way, I changed out of my good toga, got back my traveling gear. We were carrying all of our stuff with us, right?
Yes, because you didn't really check into your rooms or anything like that.
Yep. We went to the bathhouse instead.
Yeah.
That all worked
Hey,
out the best.
I ate some dried food in the morning. My rations.
Nice.
Turkey.
Alright, so let me pull this up. Pull something else up. Bam, 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 bam. Alright, so. Ooh, when you get down to here. Actually, we can make it all the way to here. So kind of deep within these woods. Oh, hang on a second here. Actually, Yeah, you get about here, and the forest kind of grows dark around all of you, kind of without any light making its way through the canopy, because you're in the forest. You hear birds and beasts clamoring beyond every bush, and eventually the path you're following seems to disappear into the underbrush. You emerge into a dimly lit clearing surrounded on all sides by oak trees. And suddenly the forest grows quiet, and you hear something crashing through the brush ahead of you. A young girl bursts into the clearing, breathing hard, and tears streak her dirt-caked face. And she looks stunned to see you. And says, "You? Are you really there? Please help!" And you hear more crashing sounds from the forest as 6 hideous creatures emerge into the clearing. They are 6 goat-headed creatures with cloven hooves, and one of them laughs harshly. "Give us the sweetling. We've had dinner, but she'll make a fine dessert." And we're actually going to go into initiative, but I need to pull up a map to put you guys onto. And if anyone wants to play Steve, feel free to pick him up. So I need to find a map. Manage grass.
Who's got
Bueller.
Steve?
Hey, his sheet is not as bad as it was in the Call from the Deep.
Well, he's only level 2. How bad can it be?
You would be surprised.
No, I wouldn't.
No.
And Steve, I know you're probably watching this. Yeah, I don't care. Let me get a map here. I was preparing. I was expecting you guys to do one thing and then you do something else and blah.
Since nobody's stepping up, I'll give it a shot. I got my new big monitor, so I should be able to manage it.
All right.
I have no idea what his powers are.
It's Steve.
Steve is back. Steve is back.
What I missed? So takeoff got delayed. Where does he flying to?
It's at
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Ew. Gross.
And then to Augusta.
Augusta's alright. But Atlanta, gross.
Not that bad of an airport.
But Atlanta's gross. I'm not.
I've never been outside the airport.
Oh yeah, you're not missing anything. I've driven through there so many times.
Aren't all the roads named Peachtree?
It's true, it is. You're on Peachtree and Peachtree.
So this is what these creatures look like.
Oof.
Nasty.
I don't know. He looks kind of happy.
I've never been so happy to see a loincloth.
Jesus.
Corbin respects his choice of pantaloons.
Yes, quite. He's just like, "Ta-da!"
Those are big ass claws.
Roleplay the tons. Okay. And actually, they would have been back just a smidge. Alright, so we start off with... Who do we start off with? This goat. So this one, he has flea-infested fur, which is great. He'll come out, "Get lost, you pathetic starvelings." And he will do vicious mockery on Demetrius.
Do you have a map? Are you going to share a map?
Oh, I guess I should do that, right? There we go.
Oh.
Oh, he will mock you.
He's been mocked.
So must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or fly into a rage. Ew.
Like that wasn't going to happen anyway.
During this time, the target has disadvantage on its attacks, and attacks upon it have advantage. Wow.
That's not the barbarian rage that I know.
No, and he's going to back up over. He was right there, so he's going to back up. Right there. Sinuous. He's gonna mark Arcadia. First, he's gonna step up a little bit and say, "Your face inspires me to vomit."
King of the one-liners.
Oh, yeah. This will also step back. Smelly crumb catcher. Gross. Where's he? Corbin. Bald legs, bald legs, bald legs, bald legs.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, don't forget you guys have inspiration. I forgot. It's too late.
I will use my inspiration. I will use my inspiration.
All right, so we will go to that next round. You need to tell me before it happens for advantage, because yeah, you can't just sit there and wait and be like, oh yeah, I want to re-roll that. No, that's not how that works. Arcadia.
Okay.
You got mocked.
Does this work? Does this work that I get a saving throw at the end of a turn? I don't know how this works. Or if you don't want to tell me.
So you'll just have disadvantage on your attacks, and attacks upon you have advantage. That is all that I will tell you right now.
Okay. Then she's going to move aside and let's see, which one is the one who? Oh, it was Sinuous who mocked her, right?
It did. That is correct. What? Oh, I guess I should put that on. There we go.
Okay, I think she can hit Sinuous from here.
Bald legs, think Brazilian. There you go. Hey, Goat Man, I can see your roots. I like that.
Is that enough for her to hit Sinuous, or should I angle myself differently?
Yeah, you're pretty pissed. I would think you could go for it.
All right.
Engorgio,
Yes.
before we go too far, would I not have had advantage on that because of my magic resistance?
Ooh. Good.
Must succeed on a wisdom save throw. It's
But it's a spell, right?
It is not a spell. He's mocking you. It's not vicious mockery, because vicious mockery does
it's
damage.
not. Okay.
Vicious mockery
It's
does damage.
something.
Yeah, it's a goat thing, I guess.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's not magic.
So no gnome resistances.
Nope.
Oh, do I need to push? Do I need to push disadvantage then?
Yeah. So
Sorry,
roll that
I'll
again.
do it. I didn't know if it was automatic. Ooh, I still hit him.
It doesn't have the coding for some reason. But yeah, you still hit him.
Ha! She goes, take this vomit.
Ow!
And I pass my turn.
Nico.
Nico is going to cast Fairy Fire on them.
Ooh, so smart.
Nope. Maybe I could get all of them. Now, how would that work?
You would need at least 2 squares to be considered inside of it.
Come on. Well, I could get them. How's that?
That works.
Yeah. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can get 4 of them. He will catch Fairy Fire on them. Oh, God damn.
They all succeeded. Wow.
Wow. What a shit show. Let's start. Yeah, they do get to laugh.
Oh yeah.
Fargrim flashbacks.
Oh god.
So Nicodemus is just motherfucking it.
Fair enough. The big goat. Well, the big goat's gonna mock Nicodemus for that. You're the plague sore on the ass of a pig.
Oh, shit.
Oh, but you succeeded. I look at Kamos. Fish face assassins of joy.
All right.
Oh, you succeeded. Kamos.
Okay. The one that's already been hit, Sinuous, casting Firebolt on him.
Okay.
Yeah, so much for making my saving throw. And the one that's the feather hide, the one that's closest to the girl, I'm going to try and knock him back.
Alright.
With my telekinesis. I think that does it. Looks like he passed.
He did.
And that's my turn.
Alright, the Featherhide. Where's she at? See, oh, he's right there. So he's going to look at Demetrius. And he's going to throw a sling at him. Uh-oh.
The crowds cheered for the crit.
Ouch.
Yeah. Steve.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, IRL Steve. In-game Steve.
Let's see. I was still looking for the coding for my gnome so I can actually use my abilities. Let's see. Steve will target Corbin, Demetrius, and 40. I think. What's the range on LS?
I think it's 30 feet. Maybe it's 60. I don't remember.
That's what I gotta look.
Come on, open up, stupid book.
30, so I can't reach Arcadia, so it'll be Nicodemus.
Why no open?
And I will bless us.
Open. Stupid fucking book.
It can only be 3, right?
I don't know. Read the spell.
Up to 3. Yep, I was right. It's a good thing I've played a cleric before.
Oh, I remember him.
You weren't in that game.
I was in one game with you as a cleric. Yeah.
No, which one?
The one where you were, you wanted to go up and touch
Oh,
people.
yeah, that's right. The one that didn't last. Sorry.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, he'll do that, and then, he will, he would move to protect the girl, I think.
5, 10, 15, 20. Alright. Karina will run behind Steve. Demetrius.
Demetrius flies into a rage. A vein pops on his forehead and his knuckles turn white by gripping his halberd. And he screams, "You elf!" And he immediately charges forwards to attack the nearest goatling.
Is he throwing a BF?
Disadvantage, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I dropped a crit. Oh, lame.
Aww.
At least you hit him.
Corbin.
Alright, Corbin, of course, since he's been taunted, will rage. And I will run forward to the gloating Featherhide. And I will attempt to grapple him.
With disadvantage.
Click disadvantage. Got it. Would it be offset though, because I have advantage, or is it just it's gonna do that when I roll, right?
It'll offset it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, should have offset it. Did you hit disadvantage?
I did.
Oh, I think strength is just a check.
Oh, it's not considered an attack. Got it.
It didn't roll. I saw the dice go, but it didn't do anything in chat.
So should I hit it again?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't target him. That's why. I thought I did, but I had him targeted.
I don't know.
I'll try it again. Hold on. Keeps saying I can't grapple without a target, but it says I'm targeting Featherhide.
What the hell? Let me see here. Actions.
Oh, because I'm on Steve. Hold on.
Oh, Jesus. Well, then just read
It's got the right dice color, though.
I just rolled it. That's why.
All right.
Right.
Did I miss anything?
Yeah, just me trying to play two characters at once isn't working.
Alright, so you grappled this guy.
Alright, so he's grappled, and that's all I can do.
Alright, Sinuous. Just gonna look at Demetrius. And say, if laughter is the best medicine, your face must be curing the world. Oh, yeah. That's so mean. This one is going to look at Corbin. You're so ugly, he scared the crap out of the toilet. Oh.
Corbin doesn't wipe.
Gross. Steve.
Corbin doesn't take shit from anyone.
Steve.
He poo-poos that remark.
Yeah. Steve is Steve. IRL Steve.
Steve, sorry. Alright, Steve will move in and...
Oh, wait.
You know what? Not that guy. We'll move up to here. And I'm gonna hit that guy with a booming blade. Hopefully I'm actually on Steve. I put the booming blade effect on him or on me?
It'll be on him. It only goes off if he moves.
Yeah, I know that. So I just drop it on him or wait?
Yeah, just drop it. That was concentration you gave it to him. Or not concentration, bless.
Oh.
I mean, he'll take bless.
No. Where is the booming blade? There it is. So I put the effect. The effect is damage though. It says self. I'm not sure how to do that.
Alright, so just roll regular damage, and if it moves, which it's not going to, but if it does move, then you can roll damage onto it. No, don't do it. No, stop.
Just
take that off.
Roll regular weapon damage.
Yes, but take that damage off of you. So that only happens if it moves.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, you guys are fighting goats.
Damage here.
There you go. And Now, if it moves, then it'll take the damage.
Alright.
Nicodemus. Fucking good stuff.
Good sounds
great.
everywhere.
Nico will try again to hit those guys because they hit him.
Okay. It's fucking guns. These guns are killing me.
I got one failure. Oh,
Wow.
oh well. Okay, that's gonna be Nico's turn there. Yeah.
Oh, Corbin's up. Okay, since I am attached to this guy,
It takes the damage. Yeah. Come
he
on.
will take 1d4 damage,
You're gonna die.
being grappled.
He should die. I think he dies. Yeah. He has 1 HP left. Yay, you kill him.
Can't handle being grappled by me.
Yeah, 'cause you're
and
so
then
ugly.
I will run forward. And I'll try and grapple this guy.
Okay.
And that's it.
So this fucking guy. So this guy, this goat's gonna look at Corbin. No, I'm not insulting you. I'm describing you. Sad. And then it runs back. Durable is going to try and bite you. Camus.
Okay, I move up 20 feet,
Oh, what the fuck?
and I'm getting a bit tired of these guys running away from us. So I'm gonna grab Smelly Cucumber and try to drag him closer to us. So I think I just pulled them together towards us 5 feet.
Alright.
And where is Sinuous? Targeting Sinuous and casting Firebolt again. With better results.
Yay.
Nice.
Yay. And that's my turn.
Alright, what code is this? Smelly Crumb Catcher. He's gonna look at Kamos. He doesn't like that. If I had a face like mine, a face like yours, I'd suit my parents. Damn. Demetrius.
My parents love me, damn it.
Demetrius will move up here, and he will attack the durable goats.
Disadvantage. Please
Is
hit
it durable
Corbin.
the one that's glowing? Or is that a different one?
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, it cancelled out.
It'll cancel out, yeah. Yeah, it's dead.
Nice.
And then I move the rest of my movement over here.
Oh, the ugly one's coming to us.
So, Arcadia is going to target the flea-infested fur And still at disadvantage, correct?
No.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Hi, buddy.
Misses.
Doesn't matter.
It's going to...
Hi, Ro.
Let's see. What's she going to do? She's going to move...
He gives me hugs.
Maybe a little bit over to the side. 10, 15, 20. And pass my turn.
Alright, so flea-infested fur will shoot at Demetrius. Alright, crumb catcher. Sorry, Rob, you gotta get down. We'll look at Demetrius and say, I guess you prove that even gods make mistakes. Alright, this will hit advantage. I guess you prove that even God makes mistakes sometimes. Ooh, that was a good one.
Good one. Woo! Drop the first
Nice.
one.
And it will move back. Hang on, let me move it. So I guess, yeah, right there. And then the biggish. Well, same thing with Demetrius. I'm jealous of people that don't know you. Ooh, you guys are getting good with these.
Constant insults.
Yeah, and then this one will just shoot Demetrius. And then we'll move back. Demetrius.
I will take a step forwards over here. Which one looks like they've taken the most damage?
None.
Okay. I'll take the biggest one.
They all look great.
Not the new
Yes!
Stab him through the chest. And then I turn towards the other ones.
He was the weak one.
Corbin will come panting up to Demetrius saying, "This would be helpful if you'd let me ride you." And since I can't reach them to grapple, I will grab a pointy stick that I bought just for such occasion, and I will chuck it at them.
Yes!
So, you guys happen to hear Kyra's voice coming from behind. Good job, everybody. You can do it. Get them goats. Them bad, bad goats. Camels.
Is it like when they leave the battle map, they're gone?
Oh, they're still on the map. Oh, yeah, no, like, yeah, when they get to leave, that means they're dead.
Oh, they're dead. Oh, okay. Much better.
Yeah, so if they're still on here, they're alive.
Move up 20. I try to yank flea infested towards us.
Yes!
And then cast, Firebolt on him.
Yes!
And a little bit of damage. Alright. It's my turn.
Karina will run up to Nicodemus, or run up behind him. Please save me! Please, please.
Arcadia is very pleased to see that. The flea-infested fur looks somewhat distracted by the fact he's been grabbed by an invisible hand, so she is going to attack him.
Yay!
Nice.
Insta death.
And she's going to move up. And pass my turn.
Steve.
The real Steve. Hold on. He will run forward. Does he have any kind of range? No. He does. He's got a longbow. So he will attack with his longbow.
These goat sounds.
Yeah. Nico.
Nicodemus will. You keep calm, little lady. We've got it covered. He's gonna run up 25 feet.
Very dangerous over short distances.
And he's trying to hit him with a firebolt.
Goat Slayer. It hits.
There we go. His turn.
And he's dead.
Oh.
You killed him.
Alrighty then.
Yay. Shadow combat.
Well, Arcadia is going to start searching the bodies because they look like ones that might have stolen that horn.
Gonna see if I can retrieve my pointy stick that I just bought.
They were quite horny indeed.
Did the stick hit?
It did.
Then yeah, you can get it back. Alright, so checking the bodies. Let me see here. You do not see anybody or anything on them other than those little sling bullets they were throwing.
And then I would track them to see where they came from. Well, maybe we should ask the girl.
Yeah.
What's the girl have to say?
So Karina will come rushing up and will fall here, and she'll say, "Oh, thank you so much for freeing us. I'm the daughter of Theocles. Are you here to rescue me?"
You're looking for thieves.
No, who is Theracles?
Oh, Theocles, he owns the vineyard in Estoria. I thought you were here to rescue us. My name is Karina. Me and my friends, we were lured into this temple by a beautiful woman named Demetria, who promised us wealth, beauty, and fame. But we were warned to leave by a young satyr named Laureus, who said that me and my friends would soon be doomed to a fate worse than death. I fled, and then those goats pursued us, and that's where we are, and I thank you so much.
Could you tell us where this place is?
Just through those trees over there.
Did you see a horn?
And she'll kind of point at the goats. Those horns?
No, like a blowing horn.
Yeah, doot.
Oh, the dragon horn. Yeah, it's in the temple. That's what she was forcing wine down the throat of some of the satyrs. But please, if
She really got their goat, huh?
if if you go in there, be warned. Dimitri is very, very beautiful and has a way with words that makes everybody fall in love with her. But please, help save my friends.
Thanks for the advice. Kira, can you take care of Karina as we check out the temple?
Of course! I'm coming with you.
Right.
It looks like we have to face Demetria now.
Oh, he did come all this way for a horn. Who's Demetria again?
She's the sister of the Oracle.
She's the one that was mentioned in your prophecy.
Yeah. She has to die.
Oh, sheesh.
Okay,
It looks like this is where we're gonna face her.
do we have enough resources to do so? I have a little bit of magic left.
Got all my resources.
Demetrius will be
One
seduced.
spell slot left. But
Better goat slayer than
we
goat
have
animal
to do
husbandry
it. We
master.
have to.
Demetrius
She
will be
said she's
seduced.
powerful.
She probably
Maybe
will.
we should plug our ears or something.
Doesn't matter. She'd probably get you with her vision.
You know, Demetrius
Perhaps.
can run in blind.
Yes. I don't know. I don't know how she said she makes you fall in love with her. I don't know how she does it.
Maybe Kira knows. Kira, how does she make people fall in love with her?
She has a way with words.
It's words, so it's not,
words.
so if you can't hear her, she can't do it.
All right,
Then,
so
I think Steve bought some candles, right? Maybe we can use those
Yes.
to plug our ears.
He did.
The wax, very nice.
I'm glad we don't have to use the troll wax.
Yeah,
Earwax, right?
we didn't find any troll
You,
wax,
you
unfortunately.
you didn't get no troll wax.
Damn.
Steve will
Good
hand out the
chewing gum.
candles, but he'll say, I need that back. And you're done.
Should someone at least try to? Didn't the oracle say to speak with her though?
Oh, you know, who has to speak with her?
Corbin will say, she's always jealous of me and the Oracle.
Let's see. Oracle's prediction. I don't see anything about it.
I can.
think-
I'll share it in the chat.
Oracle's prediction.
Let's see how well their memory served them and how much.
It's in the
See,
it's in the chat.
Faith paid attention.
Yeah, that's what I got in my
Yeah, so
journal.
we're gonna have to kill him.
Yep.
Unless we don't believe the Oracle.
So far, everything she says has come true. A little
Said
bit.
Stephen.
It's true. I just didn't know if you needed to learn anything from her because she does say speak with her, but then ultimately you have to kill her. I didn't know if we would gain any information.
She's just horsing
Looks
around.
like she's the bad guy in this. They usually tell you the story for.
Bad guy monologue, of course.
Yes.
All right, and now I shall kill you.
Yeah.
Except we won't hear it because we're gonna have our ears plugged with wax.
Yeah. What?
Can't hear you?
All right, does anybody want to plug their ears? Because I'm kind of
Yes, I
looking
do.
here to listen.
Corbin definitely does.
Yeah, Arcadia was gonna plug your ears.
All right.
So let me start the first bless. Let's take bless off because that would go away. Rage would go away. Bam. Bam. That's gone away. Thank you, Dan, for putting that on yourself already. All right. So who's Arcadia? You said you're covering your ears.
Yeah, but she would like to have some sort of person give a signal to go ahead and attack, because she's not just going to go in there and attack her.
Okay, will do.
Kamos, you're keeping your ears. You plugging your ears or no?
No.
All right, Corbin.
Yes.
Steve. Would Steve plug his ears? Which is Corbin?
Steve would probably plug his ears.
Demetrius did. What about Nico?
He's not going to do it. He wants to hear what she's going to have to say. He'll take his chances.
All right.
Can we all agree on what the signal is to attack her?
Okay,
Hold a fist up. Hold a fist up.
I was hoping we could go with something like, thumb to nose and wiggle the fingers.
Yeah, I was saying because Corbin holds his fists up all the time.
Yeah. That. Ooh.
But he's deafened. We won't pay attention to him.
Pretend you're
true.
Pay
mocking
attention
us.
to...
So it's thumb to nose and wiggle the fingers.
Okay.
That'll work.
Totally confusing.
Bye.
That'll confuse her good.
Are we on a different map now?
We are. All right. So as you continue forward, this is what you see. Nice little fanciness.
Nice.
Very Greek.
Alright, so we come into here. Bam. Alright, so I'll show you this. Ah, there we go. I like this better. Right, hang on, give me a second.
Or those pillars?
1 second. The fuck? Why is he so damn big? Why is he so goddamn big? I don't know why. Why does made this thing so damn big? Mammoth? No, he needs to. So somebody needs to fix this because he's bad. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself right now. Wow, dumbass. I gotta tell my buddy who freaking did this conversion that he messed something up. Anyways, all right. So, this clearing is dominated by 7 large standing stones, each about twice the height of a man. The canopy is less thick here, allowing light to pass through its rustling branches. Small creatures occasionally dart through the carpet of leaves blanketing the ground. Each of the standing stones is covered in splotches of fuzzy green moss. They are arranged in a half circle, and they are cold. They look cold to the touch. You sense that they have been here for a very, very long time.
All I can see is a black grid with my token on it. Is that what everybody else sees?
If you don't have dark vision or anything, that will affect your lights.
Got it. Thank you. I'm going to pull up my drift globe then.
There you go. Well, there might be coding for that.
Cool.
Yeah, if you can't see, that would be the reason.
I just cast light spell. Hopefully you guys can all see that.
There you go.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Now, what do we want to do? Use as needed. All right. So with the healing potions,
go ahead and for this place.
Those take effect immediately, so they don't just like randomly get to hold them. And she is. We're almost done for the day, and she is completely at full health. I don't know if you want to. I could redeem you those points back or not, because it would kind of be a waste. Oh, there we go.
I'm not exceptionally stealthy, so...
So, Corbin, as you are walking up, you actually trip on a stone.
Nope. I thought I was stealthy.
No, not at all.
Damn new legs. Not used to them. Nothing happens though?
Nope, nothing happens.
Alright, and I don't see anything. Alright, I'll wave the others forward. I'll look over at Arcadia and say, maybe you can't see though, right? So you have to have a light.
She has her drift globe and she can't hear you, so you have to.
I'm making hand gestures, I guess.
Right.
I guess we need to let either Nicodemus or Kamos go ahead, right? Because they're the ones that can hear.
Yeah, I'll
Demetrius, are you here?
Do you just hear the sounds of animals?
I give you guys this big shrug.
I see a little trail down here.
So, Corbin, as you were trying to hide behind this little pillar, you get hit in the head by an acorn.
I will look to see where that came from.
You see a little squirrel. And it's like hopping up and down and like chittering at you.
I will pull the wax out of my ears and I will attempt to communicate with it.
Okay. Link that for me. Alright, so you actually do not understand what it is trying to say. It just comes out as chattering at you, and it throws another acorn at you. And then it will like jump up on, or climb up to this pillar.
I will try to grab it.
Okay. Grapple it.
Mm-hmm. Do I need to do a grapple or?
Mm-hmm.
Is there something to target? Oh, there it is. Got it. Squirrel.
It must be as big as a dog for you.
Yeah. Alright, you grab the squirrel. What the fuck?
I will take it over to Kamos and say, there's something odd about this squirrel. I can usually communicate with beasts, but this squirrel
is now the icon of a woolly mammoth.
It's not making
I
sense.
don't know why.
That's weird. It's a tiny mammoth.
It's gonna be hard to grapple that.
Oh! There's a feat that'll help you do it.
What the fuck? So you bring the squirrel over. I don't know why. There it goes. I don't know why I did that. So the squirrel is still chittering away and is like pulling whatever it can, like little pebbles and stuff, and tossing them.
But it doesn't seem like it's trying to lead us to anywhere. Is it trying to fight Corbin or all of us?
It looks like he's trying to talk.
And I should be able to talk to it, but I can't for some reason.
I point at Nicodemus since he's a druid.
I don't have any idea. Oh, yeah.
It must be something that was polymorphed.
Perhaps. Don't know how to get the spell off it if it is. I can't talk to it yet.
Great.
So
there's nothing written on this tablet that was that we walked past, is there?
No, it's actually a rock.
Actually, if we could take 10 minutes, I could prepare detect magic and see if it got any magic on it, like it was polymorphed.
I don't think we have that kind of time. Can I try to communicate with it as if it were a human and see if I'll just ask it, like, were you transformed? What is going on here?
So when you do that, he turns back into a gnome. And then he tries to bite you.
As a gnome.
As a gnome?
Yes.
I've got him grappled.
A gnome trying to bite the gnome.
I'll say, stop that. What's going on here?
He will chitter at you, and then even though you're still grappling him, he'll put his face down into the grass and start eating some leaves.
But he's a gnome now.
Yes, he looks at you with a dazed expression before he starts eating leaves.
I will stop him from eating leaves. I'll say, stop that! You're not a squirrel anymore.
It will hiss at you like a squirrel hiss.
Can I kick the gnome and say, let's get on with it?
Sure.
Steve will bring Billy over and show him see what Billy thinks.
Billy just looks at him bewildered. If a possum can look bewildered any more than they normally do.
I'll say to Corbin, do you want to keep this gnome or...
We can't let him go.
Of course we can.
We should
He'll survive.
We should at least tie him up or something.
He'll survive on leaves and nuts.
I will take out some rope and I will give it to Corbin.
He will, and then the gnome will start shrieking.
I will gag him.
Okay. When you do that, he polymorphs back into a squirrel. Or transforms back into a squirrel, sorry.
Is he a gagged squirrel?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he will start like chewing onto the rope.
Guys, I think there's more on this trail to the south of here. So,
Can I secure this squirrel and put him in my bag so he won't get away?
Okay. Sure. How are you going to secure him?
He's polymorphing. Perhaps he is a druid like me.
Actually, I'll give him to Steve and he'll put him in one of those jars he bought.
Keep in mind that it's a sealed tight jar, so
we'll poke a little hole.
We'll
We'll poke a hole in the top of one so it can, so he can breathe.
Okay. So I'll resolve that really quick. Steve puts him into the jar, and then he transforms back into a gnome, breaking the jar.
Breaks the jar. Oh my!
Making me angry.
Could
and
I
is the idea
try-
like when he's a human being, he's got the brain of a squirrel, but when he's a squirrel, he has the brain of a gnome? Is that what looks like is going on here?
Give me an Arcana.
Ooh, Kamos, the intelligent.
I'm looking for it.
You get the sense that he is actually a little insane. He believes that he is a squirrel, but he's actually a gnome.
If this guy's crazy, maybe we just leave him here and forge on ahead.
Can we render
Ask
him
if I can
unconscious?
Speak druid to him. Maybe he understands druidic. But
I will say there's
Or
no
so.
doubt that a god is behind this kind of trickery.
obviously something possessed this man or gnome.
Cursed
Can we render him unconscious?
How do you want to do that?
Just want to put him in a sleeper hold.
Sure.
Just leave him be. He's no harm.
Yeah.
He might
No
do
harm
harm.
to himself.
I don't like leaving strange things behind me.
Why?
All it was doing was eating nuts and it was trying to chat at you, and then you just grappled him and gagged
It
him.
wants to obviously try to tell us something.
I was trying to talk to it.
What? And then you put it in a freaking full Nelson to try to knock it out? Well, I think who's crazy here? You or him? Leave it be.
You
It's just-
want to leave?
it's-
You want to leave a gnome squirrel behind us while we go to investigate?
What fucking harm could it do?
Okay, I'll let him go. I'll let him go.
It's a gnome.
What's it do? Oh,
It's just a no.
me.
I will release him. I'll let him run. I'll say, okay, but you can see what harm a gnome can do.
Alright, so you release him, and still as a gnome, he screeches and runs over here and starts eating leaves.
By the way, is this a naked gnome? Is he dressed in any particular way?
He has... Actually, yeah, he would be naked because he thinks he's a squirrel.
Yeah.
But he doesn't seem to, like, harm or want to harm anything. He just wants to eat leaves.
He's nuts.
Yeah, you get the sense that he is insane.
Moving on.
Alright, so are we leaving the squirrel alone?
I guess we are.
Yes.
Corbin's not a little worried about it, but he's gonna listen to Nicodemus because he's a druid.
Did this elf,
By the way,
this lady that we saved? Oh. Did this lady that we saved say that one of her friends is a gnome, or just elves?
She said they were all friends. She didn't specify what they were, but they were all females. So.
Oh, okay.
Perhaps Kira can keep an eye on him while we continue our search. Does she know anything about this squirrel or gnome?
She would say that this looks like dark magic, and perhaps there is a way to heal him. But
we'll find something further on, perhaps.
Correct.
Leave him be. All he's doing is eating leaves and berries and nuts. He'll be fine. He's no harm to himself or no one else.
Let's get going.
Alright, so with that would be a good place to stop.
Alright. Good game.
Yeah. A little bit different than I thought it would go, but it still worked out. It still worked out.
You left us a trail. We followed it.
I sure did.
A time-sensitive trail. You know, we didn't want it to go cold.
Which is fair. I need to do this. There we go. Cool. 6 day, $4.99. All right. So yeah, that was a little fun. Oh, today. There we go. Alright, so I think we are done for the day. It did some exploring, and you went down to this temple thing, and who knows what you'll get into next week.
Is it next Sunday yet?
Yeah, too soon.
Yeah, too soon. Alright, I still got 2 more games before that. But yeah, that was fun. Oh,
to get outside.
The association between Sirenscape and Fantasy Grounds. That's pretty cool. When I try to Google it, seems like it's a plugin that's no longer available.
It's available on the Forge now. Like, it used to be on the DM's Guild was this extension. Now they moved it over to like the Forge.
Okay. Still very cool.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It brings a little bit of sound and stuff to the game. Like, amplifies it a little bit.
Yeah, I like how it picks up on cues like we're resting and whatnot.
Absolutely. Alright, so yeah, we are done for the day. We will be back in a week for session 6. I wonder what you guys would do now that you know that there's a mad squirrel eating things.
Yeah, and this Demetria.
Yeah.
I bet she's behind it.
She might be, you never know.
So you have a whole week to prepare for whatever is ahead of us so that we can go in a completely different direction.
Yeah, I think we'll head back to Pythor.
Yeah. He's probably gonna be pissed. Just FYI, he's probably gonna be pissed.
He's not gonna harm his daughter.
Maybe not his daughter, but
Oh no. We'll sacrifice Corbin.
he did insist that you enjoyed the feast and you stood him up.
Oh well.
Maybe, but then again, maybe he'll be in such a drunken stupor he'll completely forget. Who knows?
Maybe he'll be nice because we stopped the sacrifice in the town.
Yeah, that could be work too. Maybe you bring us like cheesy potatoes or like a ham or something.
Hopefully a horn.
I'm gonna have
a horn filled with cheesy potatoes.
Oh,
there we go.
I'm gonna have Nicodemus cast purify food and drink, so it's like non-alcoholic and.
Ah, yes.
Eat Tito cheesy potatoes.
You're going to try and pick him off.
I don't know if I could do that to a god. I feel bad.
Hey, you mean pure? Just not only non-alcoholic, non-phlegm, booger, cockroach, gross stuff.
Yeah.
Nyla Gray in Twitch says, "Bring him a naked squirrel." That would work too. Oh god! Oh yeah, the phlegm. Oh, the cheesy potatoes. And then like
cheesy potatoes.
He goes to eat something and like a cockroach pops out of his beard and grabs a potato and disappears back in there.
FYI, that's the moment I knew I was sick. Because when, a week ago when you described the phlegm landing in the drink and then he drank it and then my stomach rolled over and I'm going, yeah, I mean that's a very good descriptive read, but I think that I've got a problem going on here.
And then he slurped it up too.
and then Billy ate it. He should have done a con save.
Yeah, Billy ate his snot. Oh god.
Yay!
I failed my con save when I heard that explanation.
See, I was trying to get across that he's bad, not bad, but letting himself go a little bit.
Oh yeah.
A little bit. Nasty.
It's a good game. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get the dogs out.
Oh yeah, they probably gotta pee.
Oh yeah, they do. They're nudging my arm bad.
Oh yeah, go let your dogs out.
All right, everyone. It was a great game.
Yeah.
Talk to you all soon.
We'll see
Great
you.
game, Nico.
Thanks, Gorgio.
Absolutely, thank you.
See you.
All right, guys. In Twitch
Have a good one, everybody.
You too.
Feel better.
Looks like the stream's still going.
Yeah, I'm fixing to do my things. All right, so thanks, stream, for hanging out today. We had some fun. Hopefully, we had a couple new viewers. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. If you want to catch up on old streams, I put them all onto YouTube. That's my channel. Go hang out, watch it. It's pretty fun. So we'll be back. Well, next stream will be tomorrow evening. I'll be playing Deadlands, Session 1 of a Deadlands game. That is at 7:30 p.m. Central. And then I think we're off. Yeah, my Curse of Strahd game is every other Saturday. So we'll be back here next Sunday at 8:30 for Session 6 of this game. That's all I got. So thanks for hanging out and talking and whatnot. Appreciate you guys, and we will see you tomorrow night. Goodbye.